Welcome to BA Brew. I'm Lisa.
I'm Faye.
And I'm Jonathan.
Today we've got our BA of the Year 2022 winner, Fae Marcano, to talk to us all about the experience really, and all about her BA career, a transition between different industries, and just all about the process, and I suppose how it feels to be a BA of the Year. So Faye, can you start a little bit with how you became a BA in the first place? Was it accidental or was it planned?
It wasn't planned, but I think it might have been in my destiny. It all started a long time ago in my home country, Venezuela, in Latin America. And I did a degree on business system engineering. And then I got the opportunity to work in an internship for an oil and gas industry. And in that role, I had the opportunity to design a software for petroleum engineers. And I started facilitating some conversations with technical and non-technical audiences. I didn't know that was part of the role of a business analyst. But I remember using use case diagrams with one of my stakeholders, a petroleum engineer, and trying to understand what they're trying to achieve from the system. From there, I worked a couple of years as portfolio analyst, and I was working mostly with project managers. So I started learning some PM skills. But I feel I had a bit of a cold, when they said that you have an inner cold when you want to do something different. And I think it happens to me. I saw some of my colleagues interacting with end users and discussing their needs and systems and what they needed from the system. And I said, I'd really like to do that. So I went ahead and did it. And I think for the next few years after that, I worked with multidisciplinary teams of geoscientists, from geologists, petroleum engineers, geophysicists, and I was basically working with them to understand the business needs and help them with technology. And I didn't know I was doing business analysis, so it was definitely accidental.
A lot of people do tend to fall that way, don't they? Were you the same, Jonathan, or was yours a bit more purposeful?
I started off work, and I was working as an insurance underwriter, which is a different profession. And I just graduated from uni. I was an insurance underwriter, and I saw a job advert on the internal intranet, and it's for a graduate business analysis trainee kind of scheme. And I'll admit, I didn't know what it was. And I went and talked to a few people, and they explained to me what it was. And I had to move. If I was going to take this new job, I had to move from my hometown to a different part of the country. And I initially turned it down. I was offered this graduate scheme, and I turned it down. And then a few days later, I changed my mind and rang up the recruitment manager and said, I'm really sorry, I think I've changed my mind, and I really would quite like to come join your graduate trainee business analysis. Wow. And I haven't looked back. It's interesting because the why is quite important here, and I think you kind of alluded to this phase, like a calling. I wanted to know more about business, and I wanted to help people get outcomes, and I'm really interested in saving money and making processes more efficient and getting rid of work that doesn't offer any value, and just helping things be more effective in a business. And so that how was a chance advert on a job site, but I think I might have ended up in consultancy or business analysis anyway. I might have found I was already kind of looking for that type of opportunity before I even heard what was the profession of business analysis. What about your story, Lisa? How and why did you become a business analyst?
Similar kind of thing, really. So I was an Oracle developer first for a few years. So the great thing about that job was that I've got to see the whole software development life cycle. So I'd done bits of analysis, design, development, testing, implementation, deployment, and then through to maintenance of like live service, things like that. So I'd done a little bit in each one of those different stages. And then I just got the feeling that I didn't want to carry on doing that. I just felt like there was something that I'd probably enjoy a bit more. So I started noting down the days when I came home and I was really happy. And I found out it was when I was having lots of interaction with people rather than just being sat coding. Lots of interaction with people, helping people, helping to deliver the right systems for our users. And I suppose, yeah, just generally wanting to deliver the right things. So then, funnily enough, similar kind of thing, Jonathan. A job advert came up, and it wasn't actually because I was in IT services at the time. And actually, the job came up in the business, and I saw it. And I thought, oh wow! And it just the description sounded amazing, and it really sounded, like when you read a job spec, and sometimes you think, wow, that really sounds like me. And then I looked into what do I need to do it, and that's when I looked into sort of doing the diploma and the different courses that make that up. And a similar kind of thing. So there was a restructure, and then luckily a year, 18 months later, once I'd done the diploma, I got started into a proper BA job. So it took a bit of time. It was a bit of a transition. But like yourself, I've never really looked back, to be honest, not at all.
I wouldn't be in a different profession. I wouldn't change profession. I love it, to be honest. I love solving problems. I love working with different people, working with different teams, and there's always something new to learn. We're quite a knowledge sharing professional discipline, I think, and it's really quite a privilege to be part of it, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree. And sorry, Lisa, and I think something that you mentioned, that something that really resonates with me about you were most happy when you were interacting with people, and it's that ability to help people to help themselves, which I think is great and help us to feel fulfilled in this role most of the time.
Yeah, definitely. So Fae, what does a typical really good day look like for you then? What kind of things do you enjoy most about the role?
It has to be and has to do with connecting with people. Definitely that ability to engage, and yes, always people, and understand what the real problem they're trying to solve. Asking questions, that's my favorite part, and we don't have to apologize for asking questions. No. I used to apologize before, but I don't do that anymore. I just ask the question with a massive smile, and yes, I think that goes a long way. But yeah, just having that ability to interact with people and ensure I facilitate conversations, that is really fulfilling. And I think that takes a great part of my day, really, and trying to ensure people understand what we're trying to achieve. Sharing knowledge and having conversations about the BA role, I think that's something that is making me a little bit more happy these days after winning the award, and especially people coming up to me and having some conversation. I think, oh, this is great. So that is one part of the things that makes me really happy, and coaching as well.
Yeah, no, that's great. And do you enjoy the technical side of it? Do you enjoy the IT element of it?
I do enjoy that. I must say I'm not exactly a very technical person, but I don't have any issue with that now. And whenever I interact with somebody very technical, I mention that, but I ensure I try to understand the critical and important contents and concepts. But I tend to work with developers and testers and data analysts and the business as well. So acting a bit of a bridge and translator between them is a great ability and part of what I do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. How about you, Jonathan? Which elements of the job did you enjoy the most as a BA?
So I like problem solving. I do like people as well, maybe not as much as Fae does. I do like people, but I like the problem solving element and trying to think about outcomes. So one of the things I've found is that if you're asking a question and you're thinking about business or organizational outcomes or outcomes for a customer, you can kind of open up some doors and the ways that people think about solutions and problems and requirements. And so, but my best day of the year is probably going to an event such as the BA conference, or to something like the Business Analyst Managers Forum, and meeting other BAs to help to build and share knowledge. That's where my real passion is, about trying to push forward our profession and meeting other enthused BAs that want to do the same, to build standards, and really put us at the forefront of change. Those are the things that really enthuse me now. And I'm a bit of a geek. I'm quite happy reading new management leadership theories and talking about them and trying to apply them, and so I quite like doing the research as well behind it all, because you've got to, if you're going to push forward the profession, you've got to learn from other professional disciplines and other ideas in the world of business. So I quite like quite a lot of that stuff as well, as well as mentoring and coaching, and you get so much reward if you pay it forward. You help someone on their career journey. You're having quite an impact on them, and I've had the privilege of having some really great mentors in the past that helped me with that kind of knowledge sharing, and I think it's a duty of us to try and pay that forward, each of us as BA professionals.
Yeah, it's a really special role. You can really make such an impact on someone's life, can't you? Helping them with their own profession. Faye, did you say you quite enjoyed that part of the job?
I do.
Much mentoring.
Yes, and I currently have coaching in a couple of persons, which I really enjoyed. But I have had some vocational conversation with some colleagues who are not BAs, by the way, but we're trying to bring them to join the BA forces. And yeah, I quite like in that, and having a chat about what the role is, and also saying what the BA role is definitely not. And saying that again with conviction and with a massive smile to people, like we are not note takers and we are not a catch anything term. And I think that ability to ensure we share an understanding of what the BA role is and the value we can co-create with other disciplines, because we cannot create value by just ourselves, but collaborating with other disciplines is something that is really important. I quite really enjoyed that.
Yeah. That's interesting. And two great events there that you mentioned, Jonathan, the BA Managers Forum and the conference, the European conference each year. I remember the first one I went to, I think it was 2014, and it was honestly the most enjoyable conference I'd ever been to, so I actually felt like I belonged there, it was quite a new feeling, really. But yeah, it was just nice to meet other fellow BAs and just feel like you weren't alone. And it was great to know that other people are doing the same kind of things you're doing every day. It's really, really interesting. And you pick up so many new techniques, new contacts, all that good stuff. Absolutely. So Faye, what happened? What made you want to apply for the BA of the Year? Have you known about it for a long time, or was this year did it feel like the right time for you?
That's an interesting question. I think I saw it the year before, in 2021. And I saw I didn't know this actually was a thing. And I said it was a thing. But then I thought this would be a very good opportunity. And also because I feel that as business analyst, I don't know what you feel about that. I'm more than happy to hear. But we are so modest. And we always tend to be the unsung heroes of the stories. And we usually say that, hey, but we are not very good at realizing or perhaps going out there and tell the stories on how much impact we're creating in people, in teams, in deliveries, in companies. So I thought to apply, but I knew there was going to be a lot of competition. And Liz, I think we have discussed this previously, and I said, no, I might not do it, but I will not get there. But particularly last year, I felt I had a good story to tell, but I wasn't very sure to tell the story. And then I have my coach in the organization I work, and she said, yeah, you should go for it. And I had so many colleagues saying, yes, of course you should do it, and encouraging me to do it. But the person who actually convinced me to do it, and Jonathan, this story, was my 5-year-old daughter. And I said, okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to apply for it. And I didn't expect to be a finalist. And the first day I received that email being a finalist, I said, I cannot believe it. This is such an achievement. Just being a finalist, and all the finalists for BA of the Year who are watching this is a great achievement. But then, yeah, I just posed myself. I just said, I'm going to be genuine. I'm going to be open and honest, and bring my unique self to it. And and I think it was something that I didn't expect, and a huge achievement in my career, by the way.
Yeah, but it worked, didn't it? Whatever you did, it worked. So yeah, it's great. And was your daughter proud? I bet she was really.
Yes,
really
she's still
excited.
proud. Yes, she is. And I have my award here. And she asked me why I moved the trophy from the living room to here.
Wow.
I said, okay, because mommy is having an interview about the trophy. But yes, so yes. And actually, I think it's more than that, because people, and this has happened to me over the last few months after winning the award, they think that, oh, you won an award and that's it. And perhaps, you know that we usually see the tip of the iceberg, but we don't necessarily see anything that is below that. And the many years of perhaps building up confidence, losing confidence, bringing the real confidence back, and trying to perhaps to create, again, a positive impact, and to believe in yourself, and know that what you do is very good, that is helping people. And again, I think that the award is more than just an award. It's ensuring we are, and this a finalist and a winner of BA of the Year once told me that we usually fly the flag for all the BAs out there. And that is a huge thing that sticks to me, because that is a huge sense of responsibility, of ensuring we get the BA profession recognized. And again, a huge responsibility, and that ability, and a huge sense of commitment of giving back to the BA community in any way we can, to help other BAs, and to hopefully leave a more positive legacy to them.
Wow. Can you show us the trophy? I know you've got it there.
Yeah.
Go on, Faye, you know you want to. Oh, that's wonderful, isn't it?
Wow.
Oh, very proud. Lovely. So how about you, Jonathan? Didn't you once apply for BA of the Year?
So I was a finalist many years ago for the BA of the Year, and what motivated me to apply was I wanted to. I was quite ambitious in my early days, believe it or not. I wanted to be the best BA in the country, and I had it in my head that getting the BA of the Year would be kind of like a stamp. And I don't know why. It just this concept of BA of the Year really enthused me. And I was like, well, I want to go for that. I'm going to aim high. And I suppose I've got a bit of a shoot for the stars. And if you hit the moon, you've still gone really high.
Yeah, it's a great
sort of mentality.
attitude.
And I had no right to apply because I was really young and junior, and I was doing good work. But anyway, I was a finalist. I didn't win. And I'm really quite silly, and I should have not done this. But I was like, well, I'm going to apply again. So I applied again, and I was a finalist again. And I was really chuffed because back then, we used to go for a really nice dinner of an evening, and my company took us all out because I had some colleagues that were up for other awards, and we had a great evening out. But I didn't win, and I should have learned my lesson. I should have stopped. But I'm not sensible. And I applied for a third time. And that time I was like, yeah, I've got it this time, because I'd done some fantastic work that year. And I still didn't win. And it's kind of, so I've applied 3 times for the BA of the Year. It really meant a lot to me at that particular stage of my career. But I've learned so much from the process. I met some great people, the judges back then. Some of them I'd class as my friends today. And I got the opportunity to become an oral examiner for the BCS International Diploma in Business Analysis. And at the time that I was appointed, I was the youngest ever oral examiner. There's been a lot younger oral examiners since my appointment. Back then, I kind of broke the mold a little bit because I was really young as an oral examiner. It was because of my BA of the Year tenacity of keeping applying, and I think the judges might have felt sorry for me. You're not going to win, but why don't you have a go at this? And that's allowed me to meet some fantastic people and to learn so much that I thoroughly recommend. If you are considering applying for the BA of the Year, go for it. It's an absolute honor to be a finalist. and it's an achievement that you've got forever if you're a finalist, and you've got that chance to win it. I wouldn't recommend trying 3 times. I think maybe I was a bit silly and a bit immature, genuinely, but it's such a fantastic experience that I don't see what you've got to lose, really. There's so much upside. But Lisa, I'm going to go to you now, because I understand that you chose not to apply. Is that right?
That's right. It was quite a few years ago now. I think I was quite early on the journey of being a BA, so I didn't really feel like I was established enough. I'd not got quite enough experience. So I thought about it a lot, and I don't know if it's because I didn't have enough experience or maybe a bit of imposter syndrome. I'm not really sure, but I didn't go for it, and I kind of regret that now. I wish I had, actually. I wish I had, because now I work at Assist. Obviously, I can't apply for it. So yeah, that ship sailed a little bit, really. But I think I wish I'd had a go. Just for the sake of it, really. You've got to be in it to win it, haven't you?
You have, but you're now one of the. You've judged the application forms for the BA of the Year, and so it's still part of your career journey. And the reason I think, the reason why I've met Fae is because I was one of the judges as well, on the year that Fae obviously won it, and as a career kind of goal, not ever did I ever think I'd be a judge of the BA of the Year, and
yeah. Same, actually, yeah.
It's such an honour to be invited to do that and to take part in it, and you've got that as well, Lisa, because you judge the applicants as well. And who knows, Fae, in 10 years' time, or some point in the future, you never know. You might be the judge or the head judge of the BA of the Year.
Maybe, maybe. But I think that this perhaps tells a lesson that. And you show tenacity on that, Jonathan, that we have to go for it. And regardless what we think, and that perhaps we have a lot of competition, or no, we're not, what we're doing is not good enough. I think it's important to have that self-confidence, even if you're very, very young in your career as a business analyst. And we can see, I think one of our winners was very, very new to the BA profession. And you can tell that you don't necessarily have to have many years of experience if you are to create a positive impact as a business analyst. And that's the key thing we want to ensure people know, and to just be able to be humble, but be brave and tell the story. And I mean, I never expected to win it, and here I am.
No. And it's such, I think, such an achievement, Fae. And it did the day that when you got the award, and even today talking about it, brings a tear to my eye when you mention your daughter and the meaning of the award for you. And it's just, I don't know, something that no one could ever take away from you. You're a finalist and a winner, and it's just by taking part in the conversation and showing that you can put yourself forward as a BA. It takes bravery to do it. But you're helping to push forward the profession by taking part, I think, which I think is a fantastic thing.
No, absolutely. Yes, persistent, Jonathan. I think that's probably your biggest, your biggest ambition and persistence.
I don't know. Yeah, definitely persistent and a little bit resilient, maybe, but also very, very silly. I should have just. I needed a mentor to say, maybe you should do something else. But yeah, you live and learn, don't you? Every day is a school day.
No, that's true. There's no harm, I guess, in having a couple of years where you don't apply, and then if you pick a really good year where you've had a great year at work, you've delivered loads of wonderful, exciting stuff. Why not? Why not have a go for it? So yeah, that's great. I'm really glad it's been such a positive experience, for both of you, really, the BA of the Year. So yeah, have you any final thoughts from you, Fae?
I think. Again, back to the point that we have to believe in ourselves and our ability to create positive impact in the work we're doing, and bring our very own and unique style to that is important in the profession. And also ensuring we give back, and that could be helping other BAs that are joining the team, doing some training, having some conversations. organizing events for IIBA UK. We do a lot of that, by the way, which is a great opportunity. Joining your local BA community and your IIBA UK chapter or other chapters in other countries as well. And realize that you are not alone in this. And Lisa, you said something at the beginning. I felt exactly the same. I remember I didn't know anything about the ABA community, and that there were other people out in the world with similar challenges that I was facing in my profession. I thought I was the only one, but it turns out I wasn't. and that is a huge thing that you say, oh, actually, there is more people there, and you can find your tribe and get other people to share their insights as well, which is important. We are not alone on this. To all the BAs listening this, there are other people there who are very, very keen in helping and sharing and a thriving community, especially here in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's one of those, it's a wonderful community to be part of, isn't it? It's certainly never dull. There's always so much to learn, so many people to meet. It's wonderful. How about yourself, Jonathan?
Final thoughts for me. If you're considering starting a career or joining the business analysis profession, give it a go. Do the learning, read the books, read the blog articles, listen to the podcasts. You might be listening to the podcast because you're thinking about becoming a BA, for example. Reach out to people and ask for help. You never know, they might help you. And it's such a great profession to be part of that I recommend it wholeheartedly to anyone that's considering a career change or starting off a new career. And it's, I think it's very rewarding and worthwhile. And my only other final thought is just a big congratulations to Fae for winning BA.
Absolutely. Yeah, I second that.
Also, Fae, thank you for joining us to kind of pay it forward, I suppose, because by being here today, you're helping to pay it forward to the community by being part of this pod. So thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Fae. Thank you, Jonathan, as well. If anyone has any ideas for future BA Brew podcasts, please let us know. You can contact us on our email address, babrew@AssistKD.com. Thank you.